A question we get asked commonly is, what is the difference between GDPR and data protection? So the difference is minimal. It's sometimes a use of terminology. GDPR is the General Data Protection Regulation. It's a very specific piece of data protection legislation. It's the European-wide legislation and applies to companies that work within the European Union and the UK, or who work with the personal information of individuals who live within the European Union or UK. So GDPR is a very specific piece of data protection legislation. Data protection is a broader term, usually covering any relevant data protection legislation where you're working or where your industry is. It's an easier term for international companies to use because they're often working with different data protection regimes, and that therefore covers all of their obligations in a simple phrase. It's also easier to use in policies as it doesn't need to be updated when terms change. So if you're based within the EU or you're having to comply with EU legislation, you might use GDPR because that is the specific piece of legislation that you need to comply with. Whereas if you are working more internationally and across different data protection regimes, you might use the phrase data protection. Hopefully that's explained the difference in the terms and the use of them. If you've got any questions, just let us know.